welcome to the Daily Runner Show. I'm Claire Ganifke.
And I'm James Shannon.
While most college students don't think about financial responsibility, Mr. Arroyo has been giving us some great tips in his 6-week seminar. This week he wraps up with how to be financially responsible and remain debt-free.
Hey, it's Joe Arroyo again, Dave Ramsey, trained and endorsed financial counselor, and we are on our final week, week 6 out here at Regent University doing our financial independence workshop. So let's break down week by week the ground that we covered. The first week we covered the absolute foundation of what it takes to move forward on a plan for financial independence, and that is that you have to have a crystal clear vision of where you're going, and then just as importantly, why. You have to have a gut level understanding of what you're doing and why. And the reason for that is that personal finance is only 20% head knowledge and it's 80% behavior, and your behavior is controlled from what you really truly believe at your gut. So you got to know why you are on a journey for financial independence, and you got to know very crystal clear what your goal is to achieve it. Then week 2 we talked about financial integrity, and that's the next step. Before we get into any math or formulas, we need financial integrity, and that's where we just say, you know what, I'm going to commit to 2 things here. One is I'm going to commit not to lie to anyone else financially. So if I'm broke, I'm not going to drive a leased BMW because I'm lying to someone, myself or someone else. And also, as I'm making decision by decision, financial decision by financial decision, I'm going to be honest with what I am doing and why. I'm going to live in integrity to that. I'm not going to rationalize the decision and try and make it brilliant when in fact you know that the decision you're making may not be the best one. Just be honest about it. It's better to say, hey, you know what I'm about to do is really dumb, but I'm going to do it anyways, because at least then you have your integrity and you can build off of that. Because then when it comes time for step 3, which is our cash flow plan, the cash flow plan is where every single month you are telling your money where to go instead of wondering where it went. You put down on paper, on purpose, the money you have coming in and the money you have going out, and you are telling your money what to do. Well, guess what? If you don't have financial integrity, you can put whatever you want on that paper, but you won't stick to it. There's just that muscle isn't built. So we need to have a vision. We need to know why, we need to have financial integrity, and we need to do a monthly cash flow plan where we are directing our money. Then, step 4, when you have those in order, we start on what's called the debt snowball. And here's the deal with debt. For the average family, debt, and not including the house, is taking about 15% of their gross pay out of their paycheck every single month before the month even begins. So that's student loans, credit cards, car payments, those types of loans. 15% of your money out the door of your gross check. Add on top of that a house or rental payment, and you've got over half your check for the average family going out the door to those fixed payments. That's a lot of money. So what we want to do is set you up on the debt snowball, which is listing your debts from smallest to largest. You're going to use the power of a vision, financial integrity, and the cash flow plan, and you're going to throw everything you can at the smallest debt till you get this thing rolling. And you know what? Once you get through debt by debt by debt by debt, and as you release more and more and more income that was going to all these payments, and now it's at your control, you wake up one day, you realize, wow, I have a well-managed plan, I have a vision that's motivating, I have integrity, and now I have an extra 15% of my income that I didn't have before at my discretion. Then we get into step 5. Step 5 is more than I can give in a couple points here. It's a whole class, but we get into the detail of what do you do now that you have no debt payments, and you have the plan, you have the cash flow plan. Well, I'll give you a couple tips. One is you want to build an emergency fund, a 3-month emergency fund, your living expenses. 2 is you want to buy a house, but you want to buy it reasonable. You don't need 5,000 square feet. You know, make a realistic, reasonable decision, and you only want to buy a house if you're going to be there for over 5 years. This isn't a short-term transaction. So you want to buy a house, you want to have your emergency fund, and then you want to start throwing your money at your investments so that you can get to financial independence as we define it, which is you are debt-free. You have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund sitting in the bank of your living expenses, and you have enough income coming in monthly from your investments to cover your basic monthly expenses. That's food shelter, clothing, utilities, and transportation. So you get to wake up one morning, and it doesn't have to be when you're 65, and this isn't about having 10 million bucks in the bank. You get to wake up one morning and you get to say, gosh, what do I want to do today? Do I have to go to work for my survival, or do I choose to go to work out of calling and purpose? That is the decision that this plan for financial independence gives you. And then step 6 is where, once you have that money, what's some rules on how to invest it and make sure that you are investing by wise principles so you don't lose it and you can grow it rapidly to really build wealth and be able to give. So that's it in a nutshell. Obviously there's a whole lot more to it, but we will be having another one of these classes starting April 17th, and I hope to see you come out to it.
Financial freedom and being debt-free is really important. When was the last time you had 14 dates in one night?
Or better yet, when was the last time you dated the same 14 people as your best friend?
This past Saturday, Christ for India hosted its first annual speed dating event. 28 students piled into Regent's Ordinary, where the event took place. So what happened on February the 18th?
Let's find out in this next video.
We have a very exciting event taking place here on campus. Something that's never taken place before, but it may become an annual event. Speed dating. There's a little bit of excitement. I can tell there's even a little bit of nervousness, but overall, I think the excitement surpasses the nervousness. Here I had an opportunity to interview a few of the participants to see what they're expecting about this evening.
I'm actually looking forward to meeting people from different majors. I'm a communications major, so I kind of want to branch out a little bit. Plus, it's not really many places you can go. To date, you know, I don't really go out and party or anything like that, so I think this would be a good opportunity.
Probably the free desserts and great conversation with guys I don't know. I'm just excited to meet people, you know, I don't know, just have a good time.
And what brought you here this evening?
My friends. I thought it'd be a great thing to do, and I've never speed dated before, so I thought, why not try it out with my friends? It'll be fun.
Since speed dating has never been done here on campus before, have you ever considered what speed dating is? Well, here I have a couple, and they're about to tell us exactly what speed dating is and why are we doing speed dating here at Regent University.
How does speed dating work? Well, they've got 2 minutes at the table, and the girls will stay to the table, the guys come to them. They've got a couple of minutes for a conversation. When the bell hits, they rotate to the next. If they like somebody, they just write down a certain number, and
We write down the number that's on their name tag. So everybody has a name tag, and underneath their name is their number. It's their ID number. And so when they rotate, they're given instructions to kind of gracefully announce their number, and then gracefully write it down without the other person seeing if they were interested or not, because you do want kind of the allure of secrecy.
After a very exciting evening, there were 14 students, 7 dates. Each of them were 2 minutes. What are students saying? Did their expectations get surpassed? Let's hear what some of the students had to say about this evening.
Probably just getting to meet a wide range of people across campus and getting a rather low-key opportunity to talk to different girls that often don't get the opportunity to talk to.
I think that my feeling about the evening was different. I came in with, you know, some preconceived notions about speed dating, watching movies that had speed dating. So it was kind of like what to expect. So it was a bit, some nervous tension there for me, but you know, overall I enjoyed it. I liked it.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting, I don't know. I think that's the issue. Like, I didn't know what to expect. I think that uncertainty kind of pushed me into like, what do I say? You know, what do I say to the person sitting across from me? How do I respond to their questions? Is my response good enough? Should I ask this question?
This speed dating event was such a success that it wouldn't be a surprise if it actually became an annual event. You'll have to keep your eyes peeled for more information about next year. You never know, it could even happen next month or the month after.
Looks like it was a fantastic evening.
Lots of fun.
This last Sunday, many people watched an extraordinary fight show called They Fight, and it was held in the Studio Theater here at Regent University. The group that performed was professionally trained to fight without actually hurting each other. They choreographed 8 combat scenes, each highlighting a different style of fighting.
Some scenes were comedy, some scenes were very intense and hard to watch. One scene featured a kung fu film, old school style with subtitles dubbed in. Another was a classic, Robin Hood versus Little John. The audience had loads of laughs on that one.
Apparently, the best way to raise money is to fight for it. On Sunday, February 19th, the Regent University Theater Department hosted They Fight, an evening of choreographed fight demonstrations, to raise money for the department's graduating MFA students. The evening included hand-to-hand, sword, and bow staff combat. The show was choreographed by 4 Regent students and graduates, headed by Britton Wilcock. Participants prepared for the show for close to a month, and each section had its own nuances and challenges to consider. Becca James, a senior theater student, performed in the Elements section of the program, choreographed by Wilcock.
I explored how air would move, both extremities, where air can be like a light summer breeze and it can also have the power of a tornado, and just explored what that would be like in movement.
Choreographer Sean Cowan prepared a combat scene taken from Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew.
Probably the most difficult thing was working with an actor who had no experience in combat and no experience in Shakespeare. And, you know, trying to give him the basics and then push him into the advanced levels of that was a challenge for me, and he did very well, I would say.
The department hosts a similar fundraiser every year, and the money raised from this year's show will go towards helping Regent's graduating MFA students fly casting directors and agents down to Florida to view their performance at a theater convention. Austin Bell, Daily Runner Show, Virginia Beach.
One of the audience favorites was performed by 4 girls, each representing one of the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water. They danced slowly and skillfully, using large swords to enhance their fight scene.
Some scenes were from Shakespeare, others from Gladiator. Both of those performances, as well as others, were skillfully done.
I'm sure the audience learned a lot about fight choreography that evening.
Absolutely.
Well, it's that time of year, and spring break is finally upon us.
Yes.
I know all the students here are looking forward to some time away from campus and their schoolwork. Some might be staying on campus and continuing classes or catching up on assignments. Others will be traveling home, and still others, that's top secret.
So join us next time. We'll tell you all about it. We'll catch up on the crazy weather.
And I'm Claire Ganifke.
And I'm James Shannon.
And from all of us here at the Daily Runner Show,
Have a fabulous week.
we'll see you next time.
Take care.